Hey everybody, how are you doing today? Well, today was my big doctor's appointment day, and uh, well, it went all right. I mean, it went as well as you could hope. Um, I showed up and, of course, filled out all the paperwork like you normally would do, and I was nervous. It's a little scary. Um, they took a few rounds of X-rays, and you had to bend this way, bend that way, twist to the side, and fill out a whole range of how are you feeling? Does this hurt? Does this hurt? Does this bother you? Just your typical battery of questions for such a place. And I mean, I it made me appreciate that because I mean there was people there that were obviously worse than me. I mean, you could tell. So I mean, although I feel that my condition it's painful. It's very painful to me, but things could always be worse. And um, I went to the into the actual doctor's room, and he came by, and we went over some test results and everything like that. And um, he definitely showed me how things should have been and how I am. And it well, uh, it was a little bit eye opening, I guess you could say, to actually see the damage that is inside your body. Um, but I mean, you right now the there's a lot of compression as well, and he feels that if I go to some physical therapy, that will help me a lot, and we can uh, go from there. See what that does for me. If not, then there's cortisone shots, and he said, but there's those aren't a sure thing. They help a lot of people, but equally so, there's a lot of people there is not as effective for. So the easiest and most, um, I guess you'd say, what is the word? Uh, just the least damage doing to me currently and easiest to do is to do the physical therapy, meet with them, do whatever they say, give it a shot. Give it a shot for 4 to 6 weeks. Of course, I mean, I told him, I'm trying to lose some weight too, and I mean that's nothing but good news for the guy. And he's like, if you didn't say you were going to, I would suggest, you can't force anybody to lose weight, but he was going to suggest it. Obviously, when this big guy walks in here claiming back problems and stuff, and you're going to be like, oh yeah, you can lose some weight. That's been the story of almost every doctor I've ever had in my life. Instantly, when they see a big person, they assume, oh, they're in horrible health. They must be. Look how big they are. And generally speaking, I really haven't been my whole life. I mean, sure, I've been big, but, my blood pressure has not been horrible. And I don't have like breathing issues, or I don't get sick all the time or anything. I have a very strong immune system. So, I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but a lot of doctors instantly see that. And I'm not saying that he was. I'm just saying that it wasn't something that would have surprised me to hear. So you know, I am lucky right now that I have a primary care doctor that she's very attentive, and she doesn't come in with a judgment right away. She really wants to treat her patients, so that I get really lucky. Um, I've been equally as unlucky at other times where you just walk in and they're like, "You're fat. That's your problem." I one time had a doctor that was sitting in for um, my regular doctor. She was on vacation, and he seemed like a nice enough guy on the surface. But he asked me what my problem was, and I'd gone scuba diving like the week before, and I got a lot of water in my ear, and it made my ear. I got an infection, and he berated me because he was like, ear infections are for kids. You know, your immune system must be low because you're so fat. And I was so upset. I was just like, really? I mean, seriously? I I I got water in my ear deep in the canal and I couldn't flush it out and it developed into an ear infection, but that's because I'm fat? That's 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 just a poor doctor. And, so but I've gotten used to that kind of treatment a lot of times. And that's probably not something to get used to, but you hear it so often. But I was relieved that although this doctor today didn't have great information for me, I mean he had let me rephrase that. He had extremely knowledgeable information about what was going on with me, course of treatment, and suggestions and stuff. By great information, it wasn't it wasn't positive. It wasn't like you'll be fine. No, it was like you're going to have to work on this. And he also told me that there is a really good possibility that I should. I'm going to have pain. I'm most likely going to have pain for the rest of my life. Now, to the varying degree, that's another thing. Now, sure, if I can shed 100 pounds and somehow unlock my vertebra through training, physical therapy and everything like that. I mean, it may be very slight, uh, but that's a lot of work, and that's on me. That's what I need to do. Um, and nobody wants to hear that. They don't want to say, "Hey, you've got a really hard, long road ahead of you." But it's true. So, uh, better medicine, but it's still medicine, and it's meant to treat. And I gotta. That's what I have to do. So I'm waiting for a call to set up physical therapy. See how much that's gonna run. That's you know, it's just a lot of things going on, and you gotta schedule around work. Because I mean, I still work it every day. I mean, I'm not disabled. I work. I was gonna say an 8-hour day, but sometimes it works a lot more than that. As my wife will attest. But you keep going, and things are going to work out. They're going to be good, and I have a wonderful support system in my wife to know that she's there for me and she supports me, and she's just wonderful. She's there for everything, and I'm very, very, very blessed to have her in my life. And hey, I hope everybody is to have somebody because it's truly a wonderful thing. Anyways, that's my update for the day, and I'll have more for y'all tomorrow or the next day. Oh, fun fact: that chili cook-off, I had my dates wrong. I thought it was today, so I showed up to work with chili on a day that you don't have a chili cook-off. I'll get more on that story later, but yeah, it was awkward to say the least. Anyways, I hope y'all had a very good day today, and I hope tomorrow's even better. Until then, I'll talk to you later. Bye bye. Oh, and P.S. Adding this on in the end, I forgot to mention go get checked out by a doctor if you have problems. I didn't admit it to myself. I knew I had issues. I just didn't know that they were that serious. I brushed them off, or I didn't want to know. As we get older, things don't just get better, they can get much, much worse. I was fortunate that it wasn't as bad as I played it up in my mind. It wasn't good, but it wasn't as bad. And it's something that, with hard work and effort, I can overcome. But everybody's not as fortunate as I. Go get checked out. At worst, it costs you a little time and maybe offers you a peace of mind. At best, it could save your life. My condition is, I mean, it's environment because of my weight and stuff like that. I mean, you carry this much weight around on your back, your frame is going to eventually fail. It's just physics. It's going to happen. But also, I'm predisposed to it. My mother had issues. Uh, Pretty much a lot of my family has back issues. It's just like my father. He passed away from heart disease, and so did my mother. Uh, it's just something that you got to take care of. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of what you don't know, because what you don't know can still hurt you, and it's important. Do it for yourself. Do it for your family. Do it for all the ones that love you. And if nothing else, do it for the ones that don't like you just so that you can still be around longer to spite them. However you do it, just do it. It's worth it. Alright. Again, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye bye.